If you're flying with your baby for the first time, I'm very excited for you. It is going to be fine. I was really nervous before I took my first flight with my baby, and it turned out to be awesome. I was really, really happy. And the best thing was, I still have the freedom to travel. Just me and my baby. If I want to go somewhere, I can get on a plane and I can go there. So, first thing I want to say to you is even if things go south and your baby starts crying, it's not the end of the world. The world is going to keep spinning. You're going to make it through this flight. So the most important thing is to just have a lighthearted attitude. Just be patient and know that you're going to get through it either way. You might as well have a good time. Enjoy yourself, even if the baby is crying. It's just a temporary thing. My baby didn't cry so much, but I'm sure a lot of babies do cry on planes, and it's not the end of the world. You're still going to make it there. You might as well just enjoy the journey. You know what I mean? All right. Also, babies, they feed off your vibe. So, like, if you're stressing out and you're angry, the baby's going to notice that. If you are letting things roll off your back and you're having a good attitude, it's going to be easier for you to switch things around with your baby, and they're going to be more flexible and lighthearted. They're going to pick up on what you are feeling and what you are doing and how you are acting. So keep that in mind too. Definitely just, give yourself some good positive mantras to take with you. Like, I've got this. I've got this shit handled. I can totally get through this either way. I am an awesome parent. Some good happy vibe mantras to get you through it. Definitely not a bad thing. Your mindset is definitely going to impact your outcome in any situation. This is definitely one of those situations. All right. So there are some things you can do, though, to make this whole thing go more smoothly. If you can set it up so your baby ends up taking their nap during the flight, how chill will that be, right? So if you can pick ticket times, you can probably have some say in whether or not your baby is going to be asleep during a good portion of that flight. Now, let's say the ticket time doesn't line up perfectly with your nap time. There's what we call wakeful windows when you're a parent. So a baby that's 6 months is usually awake for 2 to 3 hours at a time before they take their first nap. So if the flight time is a little before or after when they usually take their nap, you can move up when they wake up, possibly. And if you can, instead of getting them up at 8 o'clock, get them up at 7 o'clock. Therefore, the wakeful windows of 2 or 3 hours are going to line up perfectly with your flight. Your baby might sleep through the flight. There are some other things you can do to help your baby sleep through the flight. I wanted to have a baby doll for this. Let me go find a baby doll. All right, and we're back. So, if your baby is at the age where they're doing tummy time, which is every baby between the ages of 0 and 1 years old, you can do tummy time at the airport in a modified way that's super cool. And that's going to help your baby sleep better on the plane because they're going to have, made some exertion doing the tummy time. It's going to help them sleep harder on the plane. Here's what you can do instead of doing tummy time on a floor, on a mat in the airport. Put your baby on their tummy and hold them like so and pretend that they're an airplane. Whoa! Baby's doing tummy time at the airport and they're an airplane. Whoa! Whoosh! Yeah, it is something you might want to practice at home a few times before you get to the airport, but it is a cool modified way to do tummy time that you can do at the airport prior to getting on the flight. So get through all of, the check-in, get to your gate, do some tummy time before you get on the plane. The baby might zonk right out on the plane. Another thing you can do is if your baby's a little bit older, you can practice standing with them and tell them how great they're doing at standing. While they're standing in the gate waiting area of the airport, they can practice standing. This will cause them to, exert themselves, create a little bit of fatigue. They will sleep harder on the plane. The thing that Daphne was doing when I was flying with her, she was 12 months old. She was learning to walk. So what I would do is I'd hold her hands and she would toddle about the airport. She thought it was the greatest thing ever. She was running basically all back and forth. The old ladies thought it was adorable. And then my baby, because I wore her out before we got on the plane, would get on the plane. We would turn down the lights. This is the exact outfit I was wearing. And I would nurse the baby right there on the plane, and she would fall right asleep within moments of getting into our seat and getting settled. So wear out the baby prior to getting on the plane. That'll help you a lot. Okay, so tired babies, happy babies, they sleep well. If you can nurse your baby during takeoff, that's a great way to get them to calm down and fall asleep. It really does cause the baby to zonk right out a lot of the time. But if you're not nursing, another thing you can do, try bottle feeding the baby as you're during takeoff. That might cause the baby to calm down and fall asleep. Either way, the swallowing motion is going to help with their ears if their ears are sensitive to the pressure changes. Not all babies are. Some babies are totally fine with it. Some babies are more sensitive to it. But either way, swallowing a whole bunch while you're taking off is definitely going to help that. The other thing you can do is if your baby is between 4 and 6 months old or older than 4 to 6 months old and you've started introducing solid foods, you can give them a pouch of some baby food and they can suck on that while they are taking off, and that'll help with the swallowing motion. Also, it keeps them distracted. Babies that are fed, babies that aren't hungry are happy babies. I was really into Spoonful One poofs at the time that we took our flight, so I just had a bunch of poofs with me in my diaper bag. And not the first flight, because, you know, there was the first flight and then the connecting flight and then the flight back and the connecting flight from that. During the later flights on the trip back, ended up relying heavily on the poofs. The baby just, you know, snacked on those the whole time, and that kept her super distracted. She didn't fuss the whole time on the way back either. So yeah, if you can find something for your baby to snack on to keep them distracted, that's a really great way. Having a blanket that's super familiar to the baby, you know, like their favorite baby blanket, something that's small, you know, not necessarily too small, but, you know, portable, that you can take with you on the flight, definitely can help you keep the baby feeling really comfortable so that they're more likely to fall asleep on the on the plane. Another thing that helped me a lot was having some toys and some books with me in my diaper bag. So when the baby did get bored after sitting there for however long and they wake up from their nap and they're sitting there and they get bored, you can distract them or redirect them, as I call it. And so if you have like a favorite board book that you read a lot at home, definitely see if you can bring that with you on the flight. Ours was Are You My Mother? And I read that so many times on the airplane, and the baby was so happy, and it really kept us happy and focused while we were on the flight. She was focused on the book, focused on the voices, focused on the pages, focused on all of the fun stuff, and not focused on the fact that she couldn't run around and do what she wanted to do and that we were on an airplane. Another thing, toys that play music and light up. Really great way to distract the baby. This one's really great because it has two settings. This is the loud setting. This is the less obnoxious setting, because if you're on a plane, you don't want the whole cabin to be annoyed with the fact that you're playing baby music. So this one's great. You can turn it down a little bit and it's not as annoying. I'll go ahead and include a link to that in the description, so if you are interested in that toy, you can check it out. That thing has been really great at doctor's appointments and all sorts of different things where I have to take the baby. She gets fussy and then I just press the button. Problem solved. Quiet, docile baby. And it plays good classical music like Vivaldi and stuff like that. And even if you don't like classical music, you've heard Vivaldi's Four Seasons. You know Primavera. Even if you don't know, you know it. You'll like it. It's a cool toy. So bringing toys that the baby's familiar with and comfortable with is a good idea. Other people have recommended bringing like new toys that are novels that your baby hasn't seen before, so that when you get partway into the flight and they start fussing, you can just bust out this new toy and it's totally distracting, like, whoa, what's this? I didn't do that personally. I just brought a bunch of like Beanie Babies and stuff that we already were familiar with, and that worked really well for me. But you know, different things work for different people. Bringing a sippy cup or a bottle that your baby's familiar with is definitely a good idea. FYI, you can bring liquids through TSA if you have a baby. So if you have a baby and you're worried about bringing breast milk or formula or juice or water or whatever for the baby, you're allowed to bring that through TSA. I mean, you're allowed to bring small amounts of liquid through TSA anyways, but if you have a baby and you say it's for the baby, you can just basically bring water in whatever amount and breast milk in whatever amount. I mean, you probably can't bring gallons and gallons of it, but they just wave you through with it as long as it's for the baby. I even had my own water and I said it was for the baby, as long as you say it's for the baby. And they want you to say that because they don't want to have to tell you no. They want you to be able to bring your water. I was breastfeeding. Of course I'm very thirsty, so technically it was for the baby. Just, you know, FYI, you can bring liquid through TSA. So other things you can do when flying with a baby. You can check a car seat in for free. Super cool. Strollers, you can totally check those for free. Even if your airline charges for baggage, those things for the baby are totally free. So when I checked in Seattle, I didn't bring a car seat on the plane with me, but if I had, I would have checked the car seat there at the beginning where you check your baggage. But the stroller I brought with me through TSA because I have this giant baby and I'm carrying a diaper bag and I'm carrying a purse and I'm dealing with my ID and I'm dealing with boarding passes and all of that stuff while I'm trying to get from, the front through TSA through to my gate. So I brought my baby stroller with me all the way to the plane. And when you get to the bottom of the boarding ramp, right before the door of the plane, you can leave your stroller or your carrier or whatever right there, and they will load it onto the plane for you underneath with the baggage. And then when you get off the plane, they will just unload it right there at the bottom of the boarding ramp so that you can just easily throw your baby right back in the stroller and you don't have to carry them if you have a connecting flight or you're going to baggage claim or whatever. It's just so much easier if you have a traveling stroller. I had this really great thing that I could easily fold up and latch or pop open with one hand while I'm holding a baby in the other hand. Really made me look like a badass mom. I felt really great about that whole thing. People were like, look at you go. And I was like, yeah, and with one hand too. So that really did make me feel pretty capable and confident having a stroller that I was super comfortable using, that my baby was super comfortable in. We did have a connecting flight, and so I was actually jogging through the airport at points and getting on the shuttle that goes around the Dallas airport and just like totally chilling in the stroller. Felt pretty great. So in between flights, you're definitely going to want to change the diapers in the family bathroom. All of the airports have family bathrooms that are just like these huge, nice bathrooms. They have changing tables and everything's super accommodating. And you can really easily pull your stroller into the family bathroom, change the baby there, and you have a fresh, clean baby for the flight. The diapers I would recommend are the Honest brand overnight diapers. I put my baby in that and I use them overnight and they're very good for the baby. They're very absorbent. They wick away the moisture. So if your baby is in that diaper for a few hours and you don't get up and change them, they'll barely even have any liquid on their skin. My baby never had diaper rash, so that was rad. The other thing that you can do if you need to change a diaper when you're on a plane is just let the flight attendant know you need to change your baby. They will go to the bathroom and they will bring down a changing table for you so that you can really easily just plop your baby down on the changing table. Of course, you're going to want to bring a changing pad, but I mean, it's nice that they have a changing table inside those itsy bitsy tiny airplane bathrooms. Who knew? I had flown for years, didn't know that was a thing. When they busted down this changing table for me, I was like, wow, I was in awe. I was very happy. And then when you get out of the bathroom, they're like, may I take that diaper for you? So that they can whisk away whatever has happened in that diaper and nobody else has to know about it. They take full care of you as long as you just tell them you need to change your baby's diaper. Really awesome flight attendants, helped me a lot. So grateful for that. And this is pretty much the exact same outfit I wore on the plane. You can easily get in here and nurse the baby. I have a sports bra on under here. I have nursing bras, but this is the bra I wore. It was just really easy to deal with. I had my hair up in this bun, so then when I got to my final destination, I could just pull my hair down and look put together. If any of this has been helpful for you, I'm so glad to hear it. Please like my video. Please subscribe to my channel. I could definitely use the help. I wish you the best on your journey. Take care.